Hello and welcome. My name is John Devlin, and I am the music director of the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra. As part of this special edition of Monday Evenings with the Maestro, we will be previewing our upcoming holiday concert, A Not So Silent Night. The concert will be available for free, streaming online at WTRF.com and on the CBS network on your television on Thursday, December 10th at 7 p.m. The concert will feature many of your holiday favorites, both old and new, including a world premiere by the Los Angeles based composer Leanna Primianni. We're going to have a conversation with Leanna about her piece, Gaudete, and the inspiration behind this new holiday favorite. We're also going to have a conversation with Larisa Martinez, the New York based soprano who will be our guest artist for the concert. She's going to let us know a little bit about herself and the music that we will perform with her on the concert. Thank you for joining us for this special edition, and we look forward to having you join us again on Thursday night for the concert. Enjoy. All right, well, welcome back to Monday Evenings with the Maestro. I am so excited to be here with my friend, composer Leanna Primianni, who is going to be offering us a world premiere that's going to make its debut. The piece is called Gaudete on our concert on Thursday, and I can't wait to talk to you about it. Welcome, Leanna. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here, and I'm so honored that you're premiering the piece. It's really exciting.
We feel the same way, and I think our audience here in Wheeling is really excited to get to know you through your music, but why don't you let them know a little bit about your background and then maybe talk to us about what it's like to have a piece be premiered during this time of COVID?
Well, I think I'm the only composer on the planet who's actually having a premiere during this crazy time. So I am so excited and grateful for this amazing opportunity. I live in Santa Monica, and it's beautiful, and it was a beautiful sunny day here earlier, but we're still stuck inside. So, I don't think it matters where you are. You're still, you know, hiding in a cave, it feels like. And I've been a composer, I guess, my whole adult life. I've been in music my whole life. And I'm married, and I have one beautiful daughter who is not a musician. She is mathy, thank goodness. She doesn't have to do this. But and we live here in Santa Monica, and it's really great. It's a great life. We love it.
Yeah. And, one of the things that was really great about COVID was that conductors, who basically end up being the ones that make programming decisions for orchestras, had a chance to put away the scores that we needed to get ready for the concert next week, which is what most of our life is on an ongoing basis, and find new composers, new collaborators. And one of my colleagues, Anna Edwards, with whom I co-founded Everything Conducting, did this beautiful project called 100 Days of Social Listening, where she found composers that were from underrepresented groups and highlighted her favorite pieces by each and gave some background. And that's how I became connected to you. And I know that one of the pieces that I listened to that I was most intrigued by was called 1001. And that's why it doesn't surprise me to see behind you what I'm sure everyone is wondering about is that setup you have in your office there with
What
all
is
of the
this
wires and
place
analog
here?
setup there. Yeah. And so I know that you'd have a lot of different ideas about the way music can sound, mathematical relationships within the music, and a lot of that comes to bear in the way that you write. Could you tell us a little bit about your kind of overall compositional style?
That's so interesting. It's developed over the years. I've always been interested in electronics, and I've studied at the Zanaka studio in Paris. And my doctorate was actually part of that was in electronic music as well. I
Wow.
also write for film and television, so that's another kind of electronics. But the whole gamut has always been incredibly interesting to me. And I always felt like electronics was another instrument, it was another
Mm.
sound to blend with an orchestra. And I've always been surprised that that not very many composers use the medium
Mm-hmm.
to exploit the sounds of an orchestra. And 1001, Anna was kind enough to allow me to do that. And I think my background as a conductor was also
Hmm.
very helpful because I know how to be able to put something together logistically that will be very easy for
Hmm.
conductor and orchestra and electronics. So all those sounds are created before and they're timed perfectly, and it's very easy to present to an audience. And I think for an audience to be um, either at home with headphones or sitting in the actual space, to be able
Hmm.
to hear just a different kind of orchestra sound, to be enveloped in that, I think it's really a unique experience, and it's something I strive for in my music.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me, uh, to hear you reference your experience as a conductor, because so often you get a score that's ready for a world premiere. So the first time an orchestra will play it, and I have to send an enormous list of questions to the composer because, of course, the editing process is rushed near the end to meet a deadline. But for you, it was laid out so perfectly, and I think I wrote you what, 3 questions, something like that.
Right.
And it comes through in the music how well organized and yet how creative it is as well. So let's talk a little bit about Gaudete specifically, because that's what our audience is looking forward to hearing on Thursday at the concert. Can you give us a little bit of background about the piece? I mean, it's such an interesting concept for a holiday work.
Thank you so much. I've always wanted to write a holiday piece, but never had a chance or the time. And our mutual friend Anna called me and said, "Do you have any holiday music?" And this was like in August, and I thought, "Wow, great idea for a project. I'll do that. Great, when you want it." So I took the next couple of months, which is pretty quick for me, to
Hmm.
think about the concept, think about what I wanted to do. I wanted to present kind of old and new,
Mm.
kind of representing what we're going through now, our past and our crazy present, at least for now,
Mm.
and what that might look like in the future when we look back on this. And so I took the oldest Christmas hymn I could find, which is called Gaudete. It's from, I don't know, the 12th century.
Right.
And it was only performed at Christmas.
Hmm.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful tune. Um, I wasn't necessarily that familiar with it, but I was really taken by it. And it certainly sounds modern because it's not, um, the pulse isn't steady like one would, like we have now. It was definitely a little bit off kilter. It just sounded great for what's happening. And then I took very familiar tunes, both old and new, that everyone knows about, Christmas, and I just kind of put them together in this very, hopefully, happy and exciting 7 minutes.
Right. It's so celebratory. And right from the outset, we hear a little bit of that familiarity because there's an ostinato setup based on Carol of the Bells, but it doesn't quite fit the meter that the piece is in. And neither two, because of course, back then, before musical notation was codified in the same way, there isn't a steady metric pulse to Gaudete either that we would find. It's not in 4/4 or 3/4. It's in kind of asymmetrical combinations, the way that it would be sung in a church, a cappella, right? Like literally in the way you sing in a church. And so as a Latin major, which I don't recommend to anybody else, but it was thrilling to me to see, and a Catholic, felt very natural to dive into this world. And there's even a little bit of messaging in there through some of that electronic use. There's some Morse code messaging in there. There's exciting things that happen for the brass section, some really thoughtful writing and beautiful lyricism in the strings. And like you said, it's celebratory for about 6 or 7 minutes. And I think that our orchestra is going to have a joyful time in premiering the work.
I hope so. And I also tried to do some things with the orchestra that one doesn't normally hear, different instruments playing in not their typical ranges, groups of
Hmm.
instruments playing together that don't normally play together. For example, one little bit, um, I guess, towards the beginning, there's piccolo that plays very low with a frame drum, and then
Right.
a contrabass pizzicato solo, which is super cool. And when you get it together, especially um, where you're performing it, it's just going to sound just very medieval, but yet still modern, which is what I was looking for, that kind of sound.
Right, and isn't it so appropriate that the premiere of this piece is going to take place in a Catholic cathedral? It's
Wow.
just very very fitting, right? And I love that you referenced that section because as soon as that frame drum enters, and like you said, the low piccolo, it's so haunting almost, and it really feels transportive, right, to an older time.
Right. And I think it brings out um, the timelessness of the Gaudete. And then as we move into the modern, um, as we move into the more 20th century Christmas carols, then how that works together and how that blends to bring them, you know, both together in the piece, old and
Right.
new.
That's beautifully said. And, I'm sure that you and I both can't wait to hear how things unfold on Thursday as we bring this piece to life.
I am so excited. I've heard great things about your flute section, about the your piccolo player in particular, and the woodwind section, and the brass. And I don't know. I've heard great things, so I'm just excited to hear it. I think it's going to be amazing.
And because it's online, you will get to hear it. Isn't that great? And
Yes.
I think it would be great to kind of close our time together by asking you a little bit of a personal question because we want to get to know you better. And around this time of the holidays, we all have traditions and memories that are evoked by this period of time every year. Can you tell us what is your favorite holiday memory and share that with our listeners?
Oh, it's so hard. I grew up in a little town in California in the middle of nowhere. So I'm definitely a small town girl at heart. And I remember a friend of ours used to come over and play Santa Claus. And I was never aware. I mean, I thought he sounded familiar, and he was always so specific about asking me questions about, did you like Santa? How was the present? Was it okay? Did he come this year? And I thought, wow, he's like really interested in me. It was literally wasn't until I was in my 20s that I found out who it was, and I was shocked.
Well, that's great, and I think that that's part of what makes this so special. The fact that there's this tradition every year here in Wheeling with Symphony on Ice, and that we're finding a way to still find our way into people's holiday seasons through the television or the computer this year. And hopefully, I'm sure we all feel this way by next year being back to normal.
And the community is so fortunate to have you all get together to perform, because there are, I'd say, 90% of the orchestras in the country don't even get to play together. So it's
Right.
it's a blessing and a joy, and I'm just so grateful. I think it's going to be an amazing concert.
Thank you. We are grateful to you for sharing your new piece with us. Again, that's going to be Gaudete, and it's on our concert coming up on Thursday at 7 p.m. And all the information about how to check out the concert is going to be on our website. So, Leanna, thank you so much, and we look forward to hearing your music.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
So thank you so much for being here with us on Monday Evenings with the Maestro. Welcome to Wheeling and to this beautiful cathedral.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a spectacular place.
I have to tell you how excited I am to perform with you tomorrow night because, the Christmas tradition extends all over the world through music. And we were talking a little bit before about how you have some favorite things from your place where you grew up about how Christmas can get started, the Christmas season, with concerts like this one.
Well, I came from the choral tradition in Puerto Rico, which is very strong. I was at the Puerto Rico National Choir as a teenager, and every year we would perform a big concert at their fine arts performing arts place with the symphony orchestra. And I just remember thinking, wow, it was some of the happiest moments in my life, being with all those voices and just the joy and the hope and the inspiration that we all get from doing that. And so I'm really excited that you found a way to bring that to us this year, and that I get to be part of it. I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, I am so proud of our entire organization for continuing to make music possible during this time. And you mentioned Puerto Rico, which, as you know, holds a special place in my heart because my wife Camille is from Puerto Rico and experienced many of the same traditions that you have. And I have special memories connected to that place. We got engaged there, we got married there. So it's so beautiful to me to be able to connect with somebody who has that similar background. And can you talk to us about the different pieces that you're going to sing on this concert, including one from your childhood memories in Puerto Rico?
Yes, I think you're talking about Arbolito, which
Yes.
means little tree. Is a song that is so special to me because I remember so many Christmases with my mother, who's a nurse, by the way, singing this song to us while we were adorning the tree. And it was just a tradition. I don't even remember hearing any recordings of it. It was just my mother, and somehow I started asking around, and my Puerto Rican friends, including your wife, they all know this song.
Yes.
So yes, I'm very excited. I don't think it's from Puerto Rico originally. It's actually, I discovered recently, it's from Spain, but somehow it became from our part of the world. Somebody changed the lyrics for it to be, you know, Christmas lyrics, and now it's just part of our culture. And I just feel it's so great that you're willing to showcase that in our program, apart from our, you know, beloved Christmas carols like "Oh Holy Night" and "Adeste Fideles," "Como Ye Faithful," and more and more. So very excited.
Yeah, and then that's the thing I think I'd like to ask you next is, isn't it such a wonderful thing that all over the world, the same types of songs have deep cultural meaning around this holiday season? And you've already mentioned a couple of them, but can you mention one or two of the favorites that you're going to sing tomorrow night, and what it's going to be like to perform in a place like this with the acoustics of the cathedral?
Oh my God, in a place like this, I have sung Ave Maria, Schubert's Ave Maria before, but never in a place like this. So this is gonna take a whole different meaning for me, and I feel so grateful to be able to do that. And let's see, we have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Yeah, that's a favorite of mine.
It's such, I mean, it's just from our heart to the audience. It's all songs that are full of joy, of hope. This repertoire is really, I think, it reminds us of the better qualities of humanity. I mean, it's just of courage, of faith, of love, of compassion, empathy. It has all of that. It's so powerful and inspiring to me, and I hope it comes across tomorrow while they're all watching.
Yes, I am certain that it will, and we are honored to have you in Wheeling and to hear your beautiful voice in this beautiful place. So thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to share the music with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't wait either.
Thank you for having joined us for this special edition of Monday Evenings with the Maestro. I know you're as excited as I am for Thursday night, and don't forget you can catch the concert for free at 7 p.m., both online at WTRF.com and on your television on the CBS network. I want to extend a special thank you to Leanna and to Larisa for having joined us this evening, and also to the entire staff of the Wheeling Symphony Orchestra. Betsy Delk, Brian Bronlick, Gail Looney, Paul Smallwood, and Lauren Baker are an integral part of our WSO family, and they've done so much work behind the scenes to make this event possible. So again, thank you to everyone who has helped make this event a reality. We look forward to celebrating the holidays with you from the comfort of our own homes on Thursday night. Enjoy.